Mead Steel Education Productions and Rockingham Studios present a video read-along. Chapter 4-3 Cellular Respiration, a closer look. With course instructor, Mr. Ronald Jowsey.
Welcome back. As always, please press pause or rewind the video as needed during your learning. Let's get started. Chapter 4-3 Cellular Respiration, a closer look. In previous chapters you learned that plants use radiant sunlight energy to convert CO2, carbon dioxide, and H2O water into C6H12O6, glucose, and O2, oxygen, through the process of photosynthesis. While photosynthesis creates chemical energy stored in the bonds of glucose molecules, that energy must be converted into a form that can then be used to carry out all life processes. The process that creates usable energy is called cellular respiration. The usable form of energy for all life processes is adenosine triphosphate, ATP. For example, if a cell needs energy to move materials through its cell membrane, ATP is used as that energy. Cellular respiration occurs in the cytoplasm of the cell and in mitochondria, organelles found in all complex cells. Bacteria and other simple organisms do not contain mitochondria. Question 1. Where is chemical energy stored after photosynthesis converts the radiant energy from sunlight? Photosynthesis creates chemical energy stored in the bonds of glucose molecules after converting the radiant energy from sunlight. Question 2. What process converts the energy from glucose into ATP? The energy stored in the bonds of glucose molecules is converted to the usable energy ATP at the mitochondria through the process of cellular respiration. Question 3. If energy is required to transport material across a cell membrane, what form of energy is used? ATP is the form of energy used for all life processes, including transporting material through a cell membrane. Reactants and products of cellular respiration. As you have already learned, there are two types of cellular respiration. Aerobic respiration requires the presence of oxygen, and anaerobic respiration occurs when oxygen is not present. Aerobic respiration. The reactants, inputs, of aerobic respiration are glucose, C6H12O6, and oxygen, O2. It is important to note that the products, outputs, of photosynthesis are the reactants, inputs, of aerobic respiration, and the products, outputs, of aerobic respiration are the reactants, inputs, of photosynthesis. Aerobic respiration is the most efficient method of cellular respiration, as it produces 36 molecules of ATP for each molecule of glucose going into the reaction. The word equation and the chemical equation for aerobic cellular respiration are shown below. Word equation for aerobic respiration. Glucose plus oxygen produces carbon dioxide plus water plus 36 ATP. Chemical equation for aerobic respiration. C6H12O6 plus 6O2 produces 6CO2 plus 6H2O plus 36 ATP. Question 4. What are the reactants for aerobic respiration? The reactants, or inputs, of aerobic respiration are glucose, C6H12O6, and oxygen, O2. Question 5. What are the products of aerobic respiration? The products of aerobic respiration, found on the right side of the chemical equation, are carbon dioxide, CO2, water vapor, H2O, and 36 ATP molecules. Anaerobic respiration. Anaerobic respiration converts glucose into ATP, but does so without the presence of oxygen. Anaerobic respiration also is much less efficient than aerobic respiration, producing only 2 ATP molecules per molecule of glucose going into the reaction. In plants, in addition to producing 2 ATP molecules, anaerobic respiration also produces ethanol, alcohol, and carbon dioxide (CO2). This process is called fermentation. The word equation and chemical equation for anaerobic respiration in plants is shown below. Word equation for anaerobic respiration in plants: fermentation. Glucose and yeast produce ethanol, alcohol, plus carbon dioxide plus 2 ATP. Question 6. What are the reactants for anaerobic respiration in plants? The reactants of anaerobic respiration in plants, found on the left side of the equation, is glucose. Oxygen is not used for anaerobic respiration. Question 7. What are the products of anaerobic respiration in plants? The products of anaerobic respiration in plants, found on the right side of the equation, are ethanol, alcohol, plus carbon dioxide, plus 2 ATP molecules. Anaerobic respiration in animals also produces 2 ATP molecules. In animals, however, alcohol is not a product of this reaction. Instead, anaerobic respiration in animals produces lactic acid. Lactic acid is what makes your muscles sore after intense exercise. The word equation for anaerobic respiration in animals is shown below. Anaerobic cellular respiration in animals word equation. Glucose produces lactic acid plus 2 ATP molecules. Question 8. What are the reactants for anaerobic respiration in animals? The reactants for anaerobic respiration in animals, found on the left side of the equation, is glucose. Oxygen is not used for anaerobic respiration. Question 9. What are the products of anaerobic respiration in animals? The products of anaerobic respiration in animals, found on the right side of the equation, are lactic acid plus 2 ATP molecules. Use what you have learned during this lesson to answer the Chapter 4-3 review questions given in your reading packet. When you have finished this assignment, make sure you turn it in. Thanks for watching. Until next time, be safe, make good choices, and I'll see you again soon.